Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Welcome to the TMZ Podcast, Jason and Jaime. Ed Sheeran is in court. He has been defending a lawsuit that was brought by a songwriter by the name of Ed Townsend. Ed Townsend is the co-writer of Marvin Gaye's legendary hit, Let's Get It On. And Ed Townsend's estate has been suing Sheeran, alleging that his enormous hit, Thinking Out Loud, stole the melodies from Let's Get It On. So before we get into it, let's take a listen to, first you're going to hear the original Let's Get It On, and then you're going to hear Ed Sheeran's version of Thinking Out Loud, and you can judge for yourself whether you think that there's a real a lawsuit here. Remember, we're listening for the melody, not the words.
Heart could still fall less. Heart at 23. And I'm thinking about how.
And if you feel like I feel, baby, then come on. Oh!
Jaime, you've listened to these two songs. Just, you and I are not musicologists. We're lay people,
Yes.
just like the members of the jury are going to be lay people and trying to determine whether or not Ed Sheeran has ripped off the melodies from Let's Get It On.
I almost wish that you played a little bit and just said, does this sound like any song you can think of? You know what I mean? Because it's already in my head. And so I guess I kind of can hear the melody. But what's so weird to me is this is not a one-hit wonder who had a song that blew up and is obviously going off of Let's Get It On. This is Ed Sheeran, who writes songs all day, every day. And to think that he sat there and deliberately ripped off Marvin Gaye, not even like some no-name artist from the 50s. Marvin, it's just absurd to me.
That is what the jury's going to be asked. It's not enough that the melodies sound alike. All music is built on.
There's only so many notes.
I think there's. I'm so bad at this, but I think there's 8 possible melodies. I wish Eric was here. That exist.
Yeah.
And every song is just a different iteration, a different combination of these 8.
Sure.
So it's not enough that Ed Townsend's estate proves that Ed Sheeran's song kind of sounds like Let's Get It On. They have to prove intent to steal the song. Now, obviously, Ed Sheeran, as is the whole world, and especially somebody in music like he is aware of Let's Get It On. We all know Let's Get It On. We can all sing parts of Let's Get It On. It is one of the most famous songs in the history of music, and it is an incredible song. But he's going to have to show that Ed Sheeran intended to rip off the melody, and I just don't know how you get there based on 2 things. Number one, sort of the logical point that you're making, like all of a sudden after a year of years and years of successful music making, where he's probably worth hundreds of millions of dollars by this point, Ed Sheeran is. He's going to say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rip off Let's Get It On.
He woke up and got lazy and diabolical.
Right. And number 2, if you listen to it, it just doesn't jump off what is it? Jump off the video the audio to me. It just doesn't hit me like, wow, those two songs sound a lot alike.
No, and the reason that Marvin Gaye is so famous is like he influenced music forever.
Right.
Like that he's a trailblazer. So it's so weird. And so Ed now had to, like, in front of the jury, sit and explain his process. He explained how he writes songs. This one specifically, he said, I was getting ready for dinner and my co-writer was kind of mumbling some lyrics and I started, singing out loud, ha ha ha. And so he apparently had a guitar on the stand where he sang and played for the jury, which is
pretty
awesome.
cool. Unfortunately, it's federal court, so we don't have there's no cameras in federal court, so we can't hear it. But yeah, he got up, he had to play the song.
Which
when you
we
see it.
saw what he looked like when he walked in. He looks great, by the way. Total courtroom chic. And I think he's like, he's lost some weight, so he looks good. Summer ready. So just how romantic, him in a suit playing guitar.
Can you imagine? You're a member of the jury. You just get called in for jury service. This is in Manhattan, federal court in Manhattan. You get called in for jury, so you're like, oh, God, I got to go. And then all of a sudden, you get in there, and the first couple days, just the lawyers, but you understand who the parties are, and one of them's Ed Sheeran. And then he comes in, guitar in hand, and hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to see you.
And then I'm like, dude, how did I need to know, like, how does this happen? Like, did he have to sit there and, like, tune the guitar for a minute? Like,
yeah. No, you got to come in. You got to come in ready to go, Ed.
do?
Don't waste the court's time.
Oh. And then you're a super fan by then, because if you're on an Ed Sheeran case, don't tell me you're not going home every night on YouTube down like an Ed Sheeran spiral.
Of course. Harvey tells a story about Dolly Parton years and years ago getting sued, similar case, getting sued, going after her, alleging copyright, and she comes in, I think it was 9 to 5 maybe, and she comes in and she just woos the entire crowd, the jury, with her rendition of the song. And I think that's the kind of thing that Ed Sheeran is hoping for here. Obviously, Marvin Gaye is long dead, and so he's not going to come in. They're just going to play audio recordings of him. But you get Ed Sheeran live. It's kind of hard for the jury not to, be persuaded by that.
I know. Ed Townsend could never.
Yeah, but remember, Marvin Gaye's estate. Now, this is not Marvin Gaye's estate. It's Ed Townsend's estate, but the co-writer of the song. But Marvin Gaye's estate sued Robin Thicke.
I was thinking that
years ago for
Blurred
Lines, and I can't remember the Marvin Gaye song.
I just looked it up.
Well, look it up. So we'll tell you in a second. But his estate sued Robin Thicke, saying "Got to give it up," or the Blurred Lines was a ripoff of "Got to Give It Up." He won that suit. Marvin Gaye did.
Oh.
He actually prevailed in that suit. And I remember there was televised coverage of that, and you did hear in that situation the way the experts and the lawyers broke it down. So we could be surprised here, but good God, I mean, it's Ed Sheeran. Robin Thicke is no.
And then he got all into how the lyrics were inspired by his grandma who was dying of cancer, and so like this case has everything: emotion, music, heart.
It's
good-looking suits, weight loss.
It's actually not a horrible Broadway play.
Oh my God, I love it. Oh, just call it, what is it? Thinking Out Loud.
Thinking Out Loud is the name of the Broadway play. The whole collaborative effort, Ed Townsend's estate. Oh my God! But then Ed Townsend's going to sue the Broadway play. It's going to be a whole thing.
Well, I don't know. I know a Schmed Bounds, and we could write about. No,
it's not bad. I don't mind that. Actually.
We should stay at our lanes.
We really should. All right, let's take a quick break. This episode of the TMZ podcast is sponsored by BLUECHEW. Let's talk about sex, guys. Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BLUECHEW.com. You can take them anywhere, anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy.
You could be missing out on the best sex of your life. They always say first impressions are important. What about lasting impressions?
BLUECHEW wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BLUECHEW.com. Chew it and do it. And Jamie, we got a really special offer for our listeners. Try BLUECHEW free when you use our promo code TMZ at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BLUECHEW.com. Promo code TMZ to receive your first month free. Visit BLUECHEW.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BLUECHEW for sponsoring the podcast. All right. Last night, we're back. Last night, James Corden gave his final farewell. Let's contextualize James Corden. This is not the heyday of late night television, right? It's not Carson or even Leno. It's not Letterman or even Conan O'Brien's early years. Far fewer people watch late night television generally, late night television especially. His fame has mostly been built upon hilarious skits that have been shown as YouTube videos and the like the next day. And he did some incredible things last night that are going to be living on YouTube for a long time. Yeah,
one of them he gave like a very, very sweet, tearful goodbye from the piano.
No more shows to be showing. It's time I was going. It's time. Thanks for watching. That's our show. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. I will miss you. Good night.
So he choked up throughout the entire show. James Corden's a crier. He's always been a crier, and he choked up through the entire thing and shed a lot of tears. But it was a sweet send off.
Yeah, I mean, he's walking away from $50 million.
Is that right?
Yes, and it's all because he said that his wife and him had a conversation years ago that when his son hit 6th grade, that was it. It was done. They're going back to England to raise the family.
He's walking away with from $50 million with like $50 million. Makes it
I,
a lot
the
easier.
drive-in, I was like, so?
Yeah.
What do you need with $100 million?
You and I could. It'd be hard
know.
for us to walk away from $50 million.
And then how do you feel as that son that like, okay, Dad, stop telling everyone it's my fault. You have to walk away from.
But it's not like he's going to go and just like be a house dad. I'm sure he's going to make plenty of money doing whatever's next.
Yeah,
for Ed
but
Sheeran.
I guess James Corden is so. Do you watch James Corden?
I watched the clips. I can't say I've ever been up really late watching it.
That's what I like. I don't know anybody that watches James Corden, and he has such a loyal fan base of celebs specifically, which is funny because we hear all the time just rumblings of like some people say James Corden's not like the nicest man to work with.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he has a diehard crew that just like last night.
A diehard crew of super A-listers.
Super A-listers. Last night was Harry Styles, Adele, Will Ferrell, who does not just like show up for anybody. Will Ferrell,
unless he's pimping something, which he's not doing.
He's
right
not.
now,
Will Ferrell doesn't like anybody.
He's also beloved by Michelle Obama.
Oh my God.
On his show all the time.
Biden did
Joe
a goodbye.
Biden did a goodbye for him.
Which was weird to me. I thought it should have been King Charles, but you know.
Well, fair enough. No, he does ingratiate himself with really famous people. I mean, he's at his whole thing of when they drive the car and sing the songs and everything, carpool karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got the biggest musical acts in the world.
He got Elton John in a car.
He got Elton John. He got P. Diddy. He got Migos when all three of them were still alive to go in a car and rap with James Corden. I mean, he is the like hokiest, whitest dude in the world.
I know, and for some reason, people love him.
And it's not like his ratings are so extraordinary that sort of it's part of they want to go on and do carpool karaoke with Corden. Yeah. Michelle Obama did it.
I know.
She sang Single Ladies in a car with him.
I know.
It's
because
crazy.
Everybody likes James Corden, and I don't really understand why. Just because you know what I mean.
I think I like him more than than you do. I was about to say than I like you. That's not true. I like him more than you do. I find him hilarious.
I don't dislike him. I always say with certain people, I nothing him. I absolutely nothing him.
He doesn't make you laugh. His skits don't make you laugh.
Oh, he does. He makes me giggle. But then in the back of my brain, we work in this town, and I have heard for years that he's kind of a nightmare to
And he had the situation in New York last year.
Is the after party going to be catered by Balthazar?
Oh, right. He had the situation there where he criticized the waitstaff afterwards, and he was sort of taken to task for that, even though maybe the criticism was justified. But you're big giant star, James Corden, just suck up your bad experience and don't torpedo someone.
No, I like him, and I love Into the Woods, like his movie, and
I think he's really talented.
He's very talented,
funny,
and he's very sweet.
He's very very sweet on camera. To your point, maybe he's not in the back. He sort of has been the guy who has commanded the chubby guy who doesn't mind taking off his shirt for a gig and poking fun at himself. Kind of, that's his corner. But he's also immensely talented in a sort of very Broadway type of way.
Yeah.
Likes to sing and dance, likes to be over the top with his humor. But, you know, I saw him do a skit with Tom Cruise where they both jumped out of a plane together, and then a different one where Tom Cruise flew him on a fighter jet. And James Corden is legitimately funny. I'm not going to say I'm sorry for thinking so.
Yeah.
He's like legitimately hysterical, always playing kind of like the goofy straight guy to the big celeb who can't quite be as good as they are, even though he's just as talented as anybody.
Him bringing Biden an edible arrangement in the Oval Office.
It's
like,
right.
Yeah,
it's really funny. He does that straight face thing, and it you know he plays, like I said, he plays into the chubby thing. So he talks about he's got a great quote in here which sort of wraps up a lot of shows. He says, all we've ever wanted is just to be a little bit of light and levity at the end of your day. Thank you for letting me do this. Thank you for letting me into your home every night. He was really, sort of complimentary of his staff, and he thanked every person. I mean, I guess he goes through the same things that everybody says, but he did it with a tear in his eye, and I found it legitimately genuine and sort of touching.
Yeah, I will admit, and the song at first I was ready to roll my eyes because it felt a little rehearsed. Of like, okay, this is where my voice cracks at this point, and I stare at the
interesting.
camera.
Boy, you are
misty-eyed.
I'm going to go as far as say you might be a little bit of a Corden hater. I don't know.
I'm not a Corden hater.
You-
This is somebody who grew up with two brothers that like kick my ass every day, and anytime anyone shows emotion, I'm like, is this real? Is this real? What do you want, James? What are you trying to get? No, but if you let me finish, I was gonna say I decided it wasn't that fake.
Well, but
It
you went
was
into it with the
sweet.
supposition that it was. So your only emotion is hatred towards people that kick your ass. That's your only emotion.
No,
that you really
it's
find
just
genuine.
I
I'm a bit of a skeptic too.
Yeah.
When famous people.
yeah.
sort
What
of
am I talking
do-
about? I'm acting like Mr. Sunshine over here. I'm like, you're the most skeptical.
Yeah, I don't know.
some
James
reason,
Corden
James
has
Corden's your guy.
Yeah, wait, now it's hold on. This has been flipped on me. I don't
Yes.
understand how that happened. Anyway, it was a touching send off. He's been it's interesting where late night television goes from here. You know, you have the Colberts and you still have some other folks doing it as well, Kimmel and who's the other one? Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
But
This one was just so light.
it's a dying breed of television. This one was so light. It was purposefully made to create snippet videos the next day. He didn't do any hard-hitting interviews ever. It was when he would have people on, it was to sing, it was to dance, it was to go play dodgeball like he does with Harry Styles all the time. You know, that was the whole purpose of this show. And it didn't matter that it was on late night. It didn't matter that nobody watched it because he would get tens of millions of YouTube views on his, singing in a car with Adele. And that was enough to keep the lights on and pay him an enormous salary and offer him $50 million to stick around. But he decided not to.
Not to. And
Yeah.
I will say the one thing that I did also love from the Adele thing, that he got her to admit that she hates musicals.
Yes.
She's like, I hate musicals. I hate everything
Which is
about
so
it.
bizarre because her voice is all musical all the time.
I know.
Yeah. All right. So you're going to say good riddance to James Corden then?
James, I wish you well and have fun in England.
All right. Thanks very much, everybody. We will see you on Monday. Cheers.